Have you ever wanted to do something? Wear a certain outfit, raise your hand in class, post a picture, start a YouTube channel, talk to someone new, and then you didn't? Not because you didn't want to, but because you thought, what if people judge me? Hi, welcome back to Beyond the Smile, the place where we look beyond appearances and have the conversations people are often afraid to start. Today, I want to talk about something that I think every single person experiences. The fear of being judged. Because, if we're being honest, how many decisions do we make every day based on what other people might think? I think one of the strangest things about being human is how much we care about other people's opinions, even when we tell ourselves we don't. Maybe you've spent 10 minutes rewriting a text message before sending it. Maybe you've deleted a photo because you thought someone would think it looked weird. Maybe you laughed at a joke you didn't even find funny, just because everyone else was laughing. Sometimes we don't even notice we're doing it. It's almost automatic. And I don't think that makes us weak. I think it makes us human. If you're around my age, school can sometimes feel like living under a microscope. You walk into class wondering if your hair looks okay. You wonder if people noticed you answered the question wrong. Or sometimes you don't even answer when you're 99% sure it's right, just because of that 1% chance of it being wrong and people making fun of you. You think everyone remembers that embarrassing thing you did 3 months ago. You start believing that every little mistake becomes everyone's business. But have you ever stopped to think about something? Everyone else is probably worrying about themselves too. The person you're convinced is judging you might actually be wondering if you're judging them. So, why does being judged feel so scary? I think it's because deep down, most of us just want to belong. We want people to like us, to accept us, to understand us. There's nothing wrong with that. Humans have always needed other people. The problem starts when we begin changing who we are, just to avoid disappointing someone else. Sometimes we stop saying what we really think. Sometimes we pretend to like things we don't actually enjoy. And I unfortunately do that a lot. Sometimes we hide parts of ourselves because we're scared people will think we're too much. Too quiet, too loud, too emotional, too sensitive, too different. And after a while you start wondering, am I being myself anymore? I also think social media has made this fear even stronger. Think about it. Years ago, if you embarrassed yourself, maybe a few people saw it. Now it can feel like the whole world is watching. We compare ourselves to people we've never even met. Perfect photos, perfect holidays, perfect friendships, perfect lives. But they are usually just highlights. Nobody posts the awkward conversations, the panic before an exam, the days when they cried for no reason, the moments when they felt completely lost. We compare our everyday lives to someone else's best moments, and that's never going to be a fair comparison. I wanted to share something personal. When I first thought about starting this podcast, which was many years ago, I was terrified. Not because I didn't have ideas, not because I didn't want to help people, but because I kept thinking, what if people from school find it? What if they think it's cringe? What if they make fun of my English? What if nobody listens? What if they bully me again? I almost didn't start because of opinions that, if I'm honest, didn't even exist yet. They were just possibilities in my head. And I wonder how many opportunities we miss because we're scared of things that haven't even happened. When we're too afraid of being judged, we start saying no to experiences before they even begin. We don't audition for the play, we don't join the club, we don't wear the clothes we like, we don't tell someone else we appreciate them. We don't ask questions in class because we're afraid they'll sound stupid. But here's something I've realized. the people who seem the most confident aren't people who never get judged. They're people who decide that being themselves matters more than everyone's approval. And that's a huge difference. Sometimes I like asking myself this question. If nobody could judge me, what would I do differently? Would I dress differently? Would I talk more? Would I post more? Would I stop apologizing for things that don't need an apology? It's a difficult question, because sometimes the answer shows us how much fear has been making our decisions. This might sound a little strange, but I actually find this idea really freeing. No matter what you do, someone will probably judge you. If you're quiet, someone will think you're shy. If you're talkative, someone will think you're annoying. If you're confident, someone might call you arrogant. If you're insecure, someone might say you need more confidence. So if being judged is unavoidable, why spend our whole life trying to avoid it? That doesn't mean we should stop caring about other people. It just means we shouldn't lose ourselves trying to please everyone. At the end of the day, the opinions that matter most should come from the people who truly know us. The people who want us to grow, who support us, who tell us the truth with kindness. Not strangers on the internet, not someone who barely knows our name, not someone who has already decided who we are after one conversation. Those opinions don't get to define us. Before we finish, I want to leave you with a question. What's one thing you've always wanted to do, but haven't, because you were afraid of what other people might think? Maybe it's something small, maybe it's something big. You don't have to tell anyone, just be honest with yourself, because maybe the life you're hoping for is waiting on the other side of that fear. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this conversation, is that people will always have opinions, but your life belongs to you. So wear the outfit, ask the question, start the project, send the message, be yourself. Because the people who matter won't ask you to become someone else. Take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, and remember, there is always more to someone than what you see on the outside. I'll see you next time.